Science has changed the world, but sometimes it goes too far. In labs across history, experiments meant to help or discover something new have accidentally unleashed something terrifying. Not every monster comes from myth. Some were made by mistake. Today, we're counting down 10 scientific experiments that accidentally created monsters real, mutated, or just too strange to explain. 1. The Blobfish, deep sea mutation. The blobfish became famous for its weird, droopy face. But that look is actually caused by science. When deep-sea creatures like the blobfish are brought to the surface too fast, their bodies can't handle the pressure change. What we see is a distorted version of what it really looks like, a deep-sea species turned into a floating blob by human curiosity. 2. The killer bees, a hybrid gone wrong. In the 1950s, scientists in Brazil tried to breed African honeybees with European ones to increase honey production. But some of the hybrids escaped and became known as killer bees. They were faster, more aggressive, and chased victims for long distances. These bees spread across the Americas, stinging thousands of people. A harmless idea became a real threat. 3. Two-headed animals, radiation fallout. During nuclear testing in the 1950s and 60s, strange animals started appearing near test sites. Frogs with extra legs, cows with twisted spines, and even snakes with two heads. Radiation can damage DNA, causing mutations that nature would never allow on its own. While not monsters in the movie sense, these real-life creatures were created by accident and show the dark side of nuclear science. 4. The Pentagon's cat bombs, feline failures. In World War II, US military scientists tried to strap bombs to cats, believing they would guide themselves to enemy ships because cats avoid water. The project failed instantly. The cats panicked, jumped overboard, and the plan was abandoned. It's more absurd than terrifying, but it proves how science can lead to truly bizarre monsters when logic takes a back seat. 5. The Chernobyl Wolves, radioactive survivors. After the Chernobyl disaster in 1986, the exclusion zone was abandoned by humans, but not by nature. Wolves returned, and their population exploded. These wolves live in radioactive forests, and scientists believe the long exposure may be changing their biology. Some are larger, more aggressive, and behave strangely. They're not zombies, but they're definitely not normal either. 6. Glow-in-the-dark animals, genetic experiments. Scientists experimenting with genetics have inserted jellyfish DNA into mice, rabbits, pigs, and even monkeys, making them glow in the dark. The goal was to study genes and cell behavior. But watching a glowing rabbit hop around like it came from another planet raises big questions. What happens if these animals get loose? And what else are scientists creating that we don't know about? 7. The Russian sleep experiment, urban legend with real roots. This infamous story tells of Russian scientists who kept subjects awake for 15 days using gas, leading them to go insane, mutilate themselves, and become something inhuman. While the full tale is likely fiction, Soviet experiments on sleep deprivation were very real. Prisoners were used in harsh tests, and some suffered permanent damage. The line between myth and monstrous truth is thinner than you'd think. 8. The Mouse Utopia, when too much becomes dangerous. In the 1960s, researcher John B. Calhoun created a mouse paradise: unlimited food, space, and safety. But instead of thriving, the mouse society collapsed. They became violent, stopped mating, and showed bizarre behaviors. Some sat still for days, staring at nothing. Calhoun called it behavioral sync. It wasn't genetic, it was psychological, a lab-made society that turned into madness. 9. Monkey-human hybrids, genetic boundaries, pushed. In recent years, scientists in China and Spain created embryos that combined human and monkey DNA, hoping to study organ development. The embryos were destroyed early, but the idea shocked the world. What happens if we go too far? Could we create something that's not quite human, but not just an animal either? The idea isn't science fiction anymore. It's a growing debate in modern labs. 10. The Pentagon's mind control projects, MK Ultra. From the 1950s to the 70s, the US government ran secret experiments under the name MK Ultra. They used drugs like LSD on unwitting people, trying to develop mind control, truth serums, and even psychic abilities. Some victims lost their minds. Some died. The documents were destroyed, and the details are still hidden. But what they created in the process may never fully be known. Monsters. Made in the mind. Science can heal, but it can also hurt. Some experiments push boundaries with good intentions, but end up creating things we can't control or even understand. Whether it's mutated animals, failed weapons, or altered minds, these stories remind us that the pursuit of knowledge can come with a dark cost. Which experiment shocked you the most? Let me know in the comments. And if you want more twisted science, real-life horror, and mind-bending mysteries, like, share, and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching and stay curious.